I once heard a successful businesswoman talk about standing in the checkout line, waiting for her transaction to be approved. The debit card processing took longer than usual, and for a brief moment, she panicked. What if her card was declined? What if the store clerk shared news that sent a ripple of embarrassment through her and brought pitiful glances from the small crowd of people behind her? But almost as soon as the thought surfaced, the woman dismissed it and reminded herself there was nothing to worry about. Her account had plenty of funds to cover the transaction. And sure enough, after a brief delay with the processing machine, the clerk handed over a receipt, and the woman was on her way without a stain of embarrassment trailing behind her. She likened the scenario to the way our past mistakes, failures, and disappointments can haunt us, even long after we've moved beyond them. And it takes conscious effort to overcome the mindset that can pull us back down if we're not careful. Years earlier, as a young person with a low-paying job and struggling to manage her finances, the businesswoman had experienced such embarrassment from time to time. But it was a struggle that no longer defined her. Even so, she had to work at maintaining her confidence. Maybe you can relate as well. Not necessarily from a financial perspective, but perhaps there's an area of life where you find your faith wavering because of a past failure or mistake. As so often happens to me these days, I find myself relating through the lens of nature and gardening. There's a potted plant I've been eyeing since spring, watching and waiting with anticipation as dark green leaves inch their way above the rim of a blue clay pot that holds the roots of a plant from last year. I was encouraged to see greenery, but I began to lose hope of ever seeing the bright pink blooms like those of last summer. Even with a small measure of success in the garden, I still tend to doubt my green thumb. And I told my mom, well, at least the plant came back, but I don't think it'll flower again. Like the sage and seasoned gardener she is, Mom met my doubt with quiet confidence. Without hesitation, she said, "It will flower." And guess what, friends? Several weeks later, it's now exploding with tiny, bright pink blossoms that I look at every day as a reminder of patient and persistent faith, despite the many times I've failed in the past. A quote from Elizabeth Elliot comes to mind, and no matter where we are on our journey, I believe it'll help us along the way. Don't dig up in doubt what you planted in faith. Let's recognize our progress up to this point and keep in mind that with steady, consistent steps of action, our reward is coming. In the words of Ephesians 3:20, "Unto him that is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us."